So Paul, tell me, what are your thoughts on the whole debate over venture capital versus bootstrapping? Which route do you prefer to take?
I think a big part of it is the condition of our economy, quite candidly. I mean, there are times when our economy is doing better and capital is flowing a lot more freely than it is nowadays. I think the country is pretty desperate for innovation, but it's increasingly difficult for small companies and innovators to find that capital.
So you have not taken any outside funding?
We haven't. It's not to say that we shouldn't or we shouldn't look, but I've seen, some of the experiences of my peers and the enormous amounts of energy that it takes to actually raise a decent amount of capital to keep even a small team running for a period of time, 6 months to a year, which is really what it takes to get a decent product off the ground. And that's just not a trade-off that we're willing to make, to put time into talking to 200 different folks about whether or not they would or would not have an interest. Instead, for us, it's find your customers and spend that time talking to your customers.
So, John, tell me, what's your feeling on bootstrapping versus taking venture capital?
Well, personally, I think it depends on the business model. I would love to be able to bootstrap NudgeRx, but we just require too large a set of skill sets to really be able to build a large enough group without funding.
Right. And so are there specific steps you're taking then to go out and bankroll your business right now?
We're out talking to angel investors all over the country, trying to generate just enough capital to prove our pilot, and then we're going to seek money from the larger VCs.
Okay, so you're not adverse to taking outside funding to grow your business then?
Not at all. We think it's required.
And I think that the best way to create a company that creates value is through bootstrapping.
Okay, and why is that?
If you look at any venture-funded company, you'll see that one of their primary goals is to be acquired, and that's how the investors make money. And if your focus is on being acquired, if you're trying to please your investors, chances are that you're not really going to be focused on your customers, and you're not going to be focused on creating value, products of value.
Tell me, what do you think the best way to build a startup company is these days? Bootstrapping or venture capital?
My founder and I have had that discussion many times in the last year and a half since we started Adometry. When we started, we thought venture capital would be a great way to go because we didn't want to have to go without pay for the year that we ended up going. But it was more of a timing issue. So we started back when the crash occurred in late '08. So there was no VC for a no traction, little product company. So we, in a way, by force, became a bootstrap company. So we spent a year building a product, building up customers, and actually, I'm glad that we took that approach. We didn't have to worry about being driven by outside forces. We had the passion, we had the drive to do what we needed to do. I think as we got through that first year, we did take a round of angel funding, which was very important for us building our company. As an enterprise sales company, it was very hard to bootstrap. Right? There's things that you need to do to make those sales. You need to be out there. You need to be sponsoring things, and it was important for us to get that funding. Now we're having this discussion again, just like we did a year and a half ago. Now that we're close to profitability and we have competitors that are funded, we're having to make the decision of, do we grow organically and keep the company and keep our personal passion in it, or do we try to grow fast and go for some VC and take off? And honestly, I don't know what the perfect answer is. We have this discussion. If we found a great VC that we thought shared our passion and our desire to succeed in this, we might go that way. But I think we're being very selective about what kind of VC we'd be willing to take, because obviously there's a lot of horror stories about that kind of thing.
I think early on you got to get your business plan in order to be able to see how you can make real revenue. What we've tried to do is to bootstrap as much as possible, but we do need to take some kind of funding fairly soon here. And we're looking at, at least as part of our business model, we see revenue fairly short term. So we need a little bit, but we don't want to take too much because it would dilute us.